And for more on the science behind today's attack, I spoke a brief time ago with Michio Kaku, a physics professor at the City University of New York. Dr. Kaku, this is a region of major seismic activity. We know from the Nepal earthquake this year to Pakistan 2 years ago, and Kashmir, the devastating earthquake 10 years ago. Why is it that this region is so volatile and prone to earthquakes of this magnitude?
Yes, the bad news is that this area is very seismically active because of the collision of two subcontinents. The Indian subcontinent is moving north and has plowed into the Eurasian subcontinent, and the two have caused buckling to occur, and that in turn creates the Himalayan mountains. In fact, that's the reason why Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on the planet Earth, because of the collision of these two plates. And as you mentioned, 10 years ago, we had the Kashmiri earthquake, which killed 75,000 people approximately. And just 6 months ago, we had the Nepal earthquake, which killed around 9,000 people.
Typically, the crucial question is there a period of time for seismologists to understand when the quake might happen and the impact, the size of it?
Well, earthquake prediction is a combination of voodoo and magic. We really don't have a rigorous way of predicting earthquakes. However, the good news in this is the fact that the earthquake was centered 213 kilometers below the surface of the Earth. So much of its energy was dissipated by the time it actually reached the surface. The Kashmiri earthquake, however, by contrast, was only 26 kilometers below the surface. The Nepal earthquake was centered just 8 kilometers below the surface. And so the good news is that much of the energy was dissipated by the time the wave hit the surface of the Earth. But earthquake prediction is beyond our capability, unfortunately.
This quake was felt from Kabul to New Delhi. When you talk about the energy of the quake, is this quite normal? Is this about the size, the impact of the quake, or is this traveling?
Yes, this is a rather typical earthquake of 7.5 magnitude. Believe it or not, an earthquake of 7 magnitude or higher takes place roughly 20 times per year around the planet Earth. However, most of the time it's underwater. Most of the time it's in very isolated areas. However, when it shakes up an area that is populated, it makes headlines. And fortunately, this area was not under a major city, because if the epicenter were under a major city, the death toll would have immediately been in the tens of thousands.
Are we likely to see this occurring again in terms of aftershocks and frequency in the region?
Yes. In the coming weeks, we expect to see more aftershocks. And also because of the previous rainstorms that took place in the area, that means more landslides. And that means that many of the country roads have been cut off. And so the casualty rate could actually rise in the next coming days as rescue crews are able to reopen certain highways to find out exactly who's been cut off from the rescue effort. And so the tragedy, in some sense, is just beginning.
Dr. Kaku, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.